Um, it's funny that you wrote that. I wasn't going to do a live stream tonight because I've been working on finishing up the book. But then I just saw something on here, and it's fucking. He said, "Yeah, it looks like I'll be able to take Cuba pretty soon." And one of the reporters said, "What do you mean by take Cuba?" And he goes, "Free it, take it. I'll be able to do whatever I want with it. They're not doing so well." And I thought, what the fuck did he just say? Like, what is going on, man? What the fuck is going on here? This doesn't make any sense. I'll be able to free it. I'll be able to take it. I'll take it. I'll free it. I can pretty much do whatever I want with it now. I mean, holy shit. Yeah, Mikey, you're right. He is cracking up. What's happening? I don't understand. Like, it makes no sense to me whatsoever. It's crazy. I mean, come on, is that crazy? I'll take it, I'll free it, I do whatever I want with it. Really, because they're not doing so hot right now, and I'll do what I want. It's like, the fuck are you really? Do you really think that you're God? This is this is a nation full of human beings. You fucking ghoul. It's like, come on, man. Where's your fucking morality? This is a place with sick little children that need hospitals. They need to be able to get in a car and get to a hospital. And you think that starving them to death, you think that breaking them is what? It's fun? Because of Fidel goddamn Castro, who's been dead for a decade? I mean, what the fuck? I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I I I actually can watch my mouth because I can see me in the computer. I can see myself. But I do get a little hot under the collar about this, Les. I got to be honest with you. This is really starting to piss me off because this is not what my Marines do for a living. Like, we don't go into countries and destroy them because we feel like it. Like, this is just, now we're getting to the point where we're starting to act like that bully, that playground bully who inevitably gets his ass kicked by somebody. And when he gets his ass kicked, everybody cheers. Nobody says, "Oh, God, you need some help with that?" They all go, "Oh, hey, look, the big bully got his ass kicked. It's about time." The blue team's not doing anything. I mean, at least not that I'm aware of. I don't know. That's the crazy part. Is you got your choice between um, Democrats and Republicans, and it's like, well, if you vote for Republicans, you're going to get Big Brother looking over your shoulder constantly, monitoring everything you do on behalf of Israel. Well, if you vote for Democrats, you get Big Sister looking over your shoulder. And we all know that sisters can sometimes be way worse than brothers. You can negotiate with your brother. Like if you got a big brother, you can negotiate with your big brother. He may kick your ass. He may punch you in the stomach. Just one free shot. But then he won't tell your parents. Sister? Man, unless you got some shit on her, you're going down because it's in your best interests. Yeah. If you've ever had a big sister, you know they will rat your ass out at a drop of a hat. So, no matter who you vote for, you're screwed. That's what I'm saying. We need a clean sweep. We need to start fresh. We need to break some stuff. We need to rattle some sabers. We need to, rattle some cages. We need to make some noise. We need to do something because this shit isn't working. Now, to put this in context, and I don't know if this is the algorithms or AI spying on me, but I was just watching while I was eating dinner with my son. I'm trying to educate him about the rest of the world and what it's like. And there's a guy from Canada who said, "Hey, I'm in Cuba. You want to see what Cuba's really like right now?" And I said, "Hey, let's take a look, because from what I understand, it's extraordinarily poor." Well, yeah, it is. But he showed both sides of it. He said, "Look, we got stores down here." We, meaning the Cubans, have stores down here that are like Target. And they're full. They're fully stocked. Got everything you want. They're full of people. They're obviously the only people that are in these stores, because they're paying cash, are the wealthiest people in Cuba. But he said, you'd be surprised at how many people are in these stores shopping. It's not like a ghost village. There's a lot of people in the nice, expensive areas. And he goes, there's a lot of poor people in this country, but he said it's surprisingly, there's some really high-end neighborhoods. And driving around, he saw Audis and Mercedes SUVs and new ones. And it's like, okay, like every country, there's a small group of wealthy people, maybe 5%. And then there's everybody else. Now, I think the divide is worse in Cuba than in a lot of places because, from what I understand, the average income there is between $25 and $50 a month. Whew, $25 and $50 a month. Wow, that's really bad. That's like, we're not going to be that fucked and poor for probably 20 more years in this country. We'll get there. There's no question. They are taking us there by the hand, by the nose. So that's why all these women that are over 40, pro tip, if you're over 40 and you're not looking for a man, but you are looking for somebody to go, "Oh, excuse me, miss, can I see your license for that pack of cigarettes?" Go ahead, put the nose ring in. But number one, all men hate nose rings, okay? Democrats, all those little fluffy boys that are little beta males that swear to God that they believe that men can have babies too, they hate nose rings, okay? Everybody hates nose rings. They're ugly. They look dumb and tribal. It looks like you should be hooked to a fucking stake in the ground. Like you're somebody's property and that's where you should be. Yes, I said a month. So, quit with the nose rings. When was the last time you were in Cuba? Yesterday. I just got back. So my son and I are watching this video, and he's talking about how, and by the way, it was Valentine's Day. So clearly it was in the last month, about a month ago. And he's showing that, in the wealthier areas, the stores are denominated pretty much exclusively in dollars, whereas the poorer areas, because you got to be 18 to get them. No, you have to be 14, dumbass. And by the way, I hate nose rings because they look stupid. And they look even more stupid on a woman who's 45 trying to pretend like she's 14. Okay? That's all. We put nose rings, bad pigs, and bulls. Yes, exactly. You have nice cigars. Yeah. Although, honestly, I do not like Cuban cigars. Okay? I'm gonna fess up. I'm gonna admit to something that I normally don't admit to unless I'm related to you. But you guys are like my family. I smoke Swisher Sweets. The original. I'm not black. I do not smoke purple cigars. If they taste like grape, I don't smoke them. Now, what you're thinking is, God, did he just say something really racist? No. No, I didn't. It's a fact. I'm just laying it out there for you. I'm being honest. When was the last time you saw a big corn-fed white dude like me smoking a grape-flavored cigar? Never? Right. That's what I'm thinking. Ever. So, I just think it's funny because every time I go in, they say, hey, what flavor would you like? And I go, can I get the smoke flavor? And they laugh and they're like, yeah, man, no problem. And I go, do a lot of white people get the strawberry, vanilla, mango, tango? And they go, no, not unless they're emptying it out and stuffing it full of weed. And I said, okay, well, that's not really mango, wango, fantango. That's weed flavor. But yeah, that's who does it. No Story Hershey Candy Sugar Cane Factory there in Cuba. Whoa, wow, farmer, that made no sense, but it's a lot of words. That's a weird ass question to ask a cashier. No, not really. Not if you're extremely ridiculously intelligent and you ask questions of everybody all the time. Constantly. Why do you think I'm single? It's not because I'm not handsome. Okay, handsome's pushing it. Rugged. Rugged works. But even as rugged as I am, I'm a pain in the ass. And yes, I do ask questions like that all the time. And one of the reasons, you sure are judgmental. Yes. You know why, Mac? Because I'm super, super smart. And God gave me judgment, whatever you want to call God, spaghetti monster, Jesus, whatever. God gave us all this discernment, this thing that when we're walking through the forest and you're like, hey, what was that noise? Oh, you know what? It was probably nothing. No, we don't do that. You know why? Because that fucking mountain lion's about to eat your leg. Yeah. And so we all judge. It's just some of us have enough balls to say, yes, I judge people all the time. You know, I see a bunch of black guys in an alley and I go, hey, look, they're wearing really nice suits. And fuck, I love that guy's tie. Should I ask him? Yes, I have to. Hey, man, where'd you get that tie? That's badass. Oh, you thought I was going to go, oh, no. It's not, oh, black guy's in an alley. I better take the other alley. No. See, that's the other part of judgment. No, there's a bunch of guys standing around dressed in Raiders jackets with their asses hanging out of their jeans. And I couldn't understand a fucking word they said because their English was so bad, even though they were born right here in Chicago or Detroit. Yeah, that made me a little nervous. Would I walk down the alley? Yep. Because that's the kind of shit starter I am. Now, would I say anything nasty to him? Would I try to start a fight? No, I'd be super polite. Just like the last time I got in a fight with 5 guys because I stepped out on the curb and one of them bumped into me and I said, oh, excuse me, sorry. He said, yeah, motherfucker, you better be sorry. And I went, oh, thank you, Lord, for blessing me. And then we all ended up in the hospital that night. So technically a win. It goes in the W column, but we were all in the hospital together. So really, I don't think so. But are you a stable genius? No. Sort of, sometimes. I have been having the same bad dream 2 nights in a row. That's never happened to me before. I think I want to talk about it. So I'm having this dream where I'm trying to plug physically, okay? Physically plug 2 languages. I know you're thinking, big and corn-fed. You just said you're smart. You can't plug languages together physically because languages are auditory. Yeah, it's a dream. Go fuck yourself if you can't play with me here, because I need some help. I'm trying to plug these 2 languages together because I realize that these languages are the difference between the world ending and the world not ending. It's important that I plug these together. But they won't fucking fit. Now the question is, what kind of languages? They feel like computer languages to me. Weird, right? Like it's almost like I'm trying to get Apple and Microsoft to fucking talk to each other. Just directly. It's not working. 2 nights in a row, I slept all night long. That's unusual. That's very unusual for me. Usually, the slightest noise, and I'm like, PTSD? Where did I leave you? So, slept all the way through the night, both nights. But woke up in the morning having this dream and being really frustrated because I know that I can make this work somehow. Okay, that's not true. I'm not sure I can make it work, but I'm sure that I'm not giving up. And yet I wake up in the morning, look over at the clock, and I go, yeah, I gotta get up. Guess I'm not solving this one. Parse syntax grammar will break all languages down mathematically. Well, Scott, that's interesting. Because breaking things down mathematically means that you break them down to pure logic. That's why I've been divorced twice, because I speak logic. If you're a woman and you haven't said fuck this guy and moved away from the channel yet, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm not saying all women are incapable of logic, obviously. Women, scientists, you've heard those terms. Well, if a woman is a scientist, that's logic, especially if she's a mathematician. And there are actually some really good mathematicians out there. As a matter of fact, let me just go so far as to say, if you're a woman and you're a mathematician, I'm just putting in my application for marriage now. I'm just saying, I don't even know what you look like. I honestly am not really sure that I care what you look like, because I will say this. Women, mathematicians, theoretical physicists, mathematicians, it's all in the same. They are so wildly intelligent that they are almost without exception freaks. Freaks. Like that one time at band camp. That kind of freaks. Trade some silver for it. What are we talking? Trade some silver for a mathematician? I'm pretty sure that that's illegal in pretty much everywhere in the country except maybe Las Vegas. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, there's something about really insanely smart women. I would marry her even if she was a guy. Well, that's different. Now, I can see where guys might want to get married to other guys now, even if they're straight. Like, look, I've been married twice. And I can tell you that one of those two times I was in love. It was miserable. It was fucking horrible. So the thought that maybe you could just get married to another dude, no weirdness, no kissing. Not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with being gay. I I have to laugh when I say that because I think it's funny that I have to say that there's nothing wrong with being gay. If you're gay, then good for you. Congratulations. It's fantastic for you. But you know, it's a little weird to me. Super weird. But here's what I would say. I saw an ad on TikTok. The guy said, "Look, I'm straight. Just looking for another straight man to get married to." And he said, "With our dual income, that bass boat that you've been wanting, we can have it. And if if you leave your underwear on the floor of the bathroom, hey man, we make enough money with a dual income that you got your own bathroom. You do as you please, and you guaranteed I'm never going to say a word." And I thought, is that a thing? Can you do that? Can two straight guys get married if they're never gonna and both have girlfriends? I smell a business opportunity in here somewhere. Now I'm not sure where it is yet, but we can, Donovan, we can leave the seat up. We must leave the seat up. And if women come over and they haven't been trained properly to put the fucking seat up when they're done, train them up, or out they go. Yeah, bottom line. Every time a woman says to me, "Did you put the seat down?" And they all talk like that in my mind. So, just kidding. They don't. You lost me on that. I figured. Look, women have limits, okay? Chuck and Larry, there you go. Women have limits, and I know that the pee thing with the toilet down, the seat down, that passes it. How many Freudians does it take to change a light bulb? That's awesome. It's a good joke. For those of you on the other channels who didn't see that, it's how many Freudians does it take to screw in a light bulb? 2. 1 to screw in the light bulb, and 1 to hold the penis ladder. If you haven't studied psychology, psychiatry, you're not going to find that amusing. I, on the other hand, have, and I find it rather amusing. Good evening. Love listening to you. I love listening to me too. So we should be friends, Shane, because yeah, I am in rare form tonight, man. After seeing that thing, by the way, this is a Baofeng. It's Chinese, like everything else on Earth. If you don't have one of these, get one now. Now, Bayo, look, I'm going to hold it up, take a screenshot. I know it's backwards. You can figure that out later. Baofeng. Now, look, I'm going to hold it up here. Baofeng. Now, this is on YouTube, and YouTube doesn't put me up backwards. Okay, Baofeng. Now, look, fancy, right? Fancy schmancy. I can jailbreak it and listen to police radio, anything I want. Now, I don't because that's illegal. And we don't ever do anything illegal up in this country. But my point is, if you wanted to jailbreak it, you could. You have 2 of those. See? Coco? Smart. Good evening. I already listened to that one. John who? I don't know. Paulie, you got me. But they're like $40 for 2 of them. I want to say maybe $49 for 2 of them. These things are awesome. The shortwave radios, guys. When the shit hits the fan, you'll have them in your Faraday cage, right? You don't know what a Faraday cage is? It's okay. I forgive all of you, but you're going to know because you're going to want to buy my book. And where is it? I don't have it in here. I've got the manuscript finished. So that's good. So if you're waiting for it, Jesus loves all of you. Yeah, but he loves me more than everybody else, Tom. Can we just accept that? Of course, I do. I'm an engineer. I like it. Ankh is on it. How far away can you talk? How's this? Can you still hear me? I know you meant this. Ankh, help me out. You're the engineer. I'm not. I think you can hear people worldwide. You can tune in and hear people all over the world. Like I can hear people from Australia. Listen.
Welcome. Channel mode.
Throw another shrimp on the barbie, right? See? Did you hear that? He was like an Australian guy from like Newcastle and whatever. Anyway, use the cell towers. No, Peggy Mick. If it did, it wouldn't be any good, right? Did you just scoff at that? Scoff? No. Of course I wouldn't scoff at Jesus Christ. No. But I do like to joke about Jesus because I think Jesus had a sense of humor. I mean, look who he had to save. Us. And I mean, think about it. Your dad's God. I have 2 cans and a wire. That'll work. Your dad's God, and he comes here and he goes, oh, you know those pathetic mealy-mouthed dipshits that I made that are like halfway between monkeys and dolphins, except they can't swim worth a shit? I need you to go down and save them. I'd be like, whoa, Dad, what? Wait, I'm right in the middle of a video game. Are you sure? Wait, you mean save the dolphins, right? No, the dolphins are fine. Whales? No. Sharks. So you want me to go down and teach like the most insane, idiotic primates that you ever made? Okay. By the way, I hope you're thinking about my allowance when you send me down there. Satellite subscription. No, Peggy, that's why you want one of these, baby, because these things are awesome. And by the way, ow, ooh, funky. Yeah, I think I found another use for them. Communication, if you know what I mean. I'm in Australia. I'm not upside down. Hey, by the way, theoretically, I can talk. Well, I don't think I can talk to Australia, but I think I can hear Australia. Because if you've got one of these things, but you got the humongous ass tower, you know, the one that's like 50 feet tall with all the shit on it. And then, you know, you're, it's one of my favorite movies, Contact with Jodie Foster. I got restricted for something. What the hell did I do this time? For Christ's sakes, what did I do this time? It didn't even say what I did. I just got restricted. Oh, well, whatever. Explain the radios. Blood sugars. I really can't explain them. Well, of course I can. Here. All I know is that everybody that I know that is into this sort of stuff said, hey, man, don't screw around. Get yourself some shortwave radios. You can now go over to YouTube. They won't restrict you over there. John, that is very true. That may be the truest thing you've said in the last 5 minutes. I don't know. I'm not there. I already have a scanner. Oh, what, you think you're better than us? Let me tell you something, Pete. You're not better than us. And your scanner is neat and all, but can you talk on your scanner? or can you just scan on your scanner? Because I can actually pick this up and talk. Copy that. 10-4. Over and out. You don't think cables are going to get cut? What cables are we talking about? It's shortwave, right? Bounces off the ionosphere. I'm not sure where you're going with that, bro. Transatlantic cables from the U.S. to England. Oh, John. You're not the guy who said you were an engineer, I hope, because that's like the least engineering thing you could possibly have just said to me. No. TikTok thinks you're selling. That's right, Donovan. That's what it was. I got restricted for that. Okay, well, I'm not selling anything TikTok except just slinging a little knowledge around here. But yeah, the shortwave radio frequencies bounce off the ionosphere. We love the TikTok shop. That's where I found my first two wives, was a TikTok shop. One was a redhead, and the other one was a brunette. Still looking for a blonde. And a Korean girl. And a Filipino. And a Ukrainian. Or Russian, whatever. Ukraine and Russia are the same thing. That ought to start some shit right there. Isn't that crazy? When I go overseas, the girls over there go crazy because blonde hair and blue eyes. But over here, I can't get a Korean girl or a Japanese girl to even look at me twice. What's that about? It's probably because there's so many other blonde guys that aren't fat. Fuck. Why did I get fat? Why did I let myself do that? All right, let's go. Let's do this. Baofeng Communications. Boom. Baofeng. Okay. So, Baofeng. Baofeng two-way radio. All right, let's do this. Long-range walkie-talkies, handheld. Okay, let's go to handheld. And let's go to... Oh, what is this one? Oh, really? Are you... Oh, AR5RM. AR5RM. Okay. Okay. Wow, that's not what I was looking for. Okay. Well, according to them, they don't have this one. The taller antenna you have, the more you can pick up. Yeah, I know. I've got one of these that's got a huge antenna that's like literally 5 feet tall. I have the same brand two-way radio. Yes, ARM. Got it. Thanks. Oh, yeah, AR5. I don't understand why I'm not finding this here. Okay. I thought I was looking in the right place. Analog. Yeah. 5RM. Oh, there's a lot of 5RMs. Okay, wait. That doesn't. That does look just like it. Except they say UV. They don't say AR. Dual band. Let's see if it's a dual band. Oh, I know it's a dual band. It's got two thingies on it. This is really strange. Something's not right. Yeah, bottom line is, let's see. It looks like you're lost. Sneaky Pete, you have no idea how lost I am because I'm on their website and I don't see it. Oh, you know what? Let me do this. Amateur Radio User's Guide. How the hell did they know what they were sending me? There's nothing on the outside of this box except two-way radio. See, Baofeng. These are the guys. So, all right. I'm only. I don't have my reading glasses. Yeah. See, you like the micro print? Of course. You think that's really funny? Ha ha. Real funny. Let's let the guy go blind. Fuckers. Let's see here. Using the USB-C charger. What? Are you kidding me? Look at that. Nice. It's got a charging system so that you can charge it off of a USB-C port. So, perfect for solar. Hello, solar. I have give stuff away before because I couldn't read it. Yeah. Oh, I'll definitely be able to pick up Art Bell. I'm in Phoenix and he's over in Vegas, although is Art Bell still alive? Okay. Radio overview. Broadband what? Broadband FM. That's FM radio too. I'll be dag-nabbed. Main keypad controls. All right, come on, guy. Help me out here. Basic operations. Adjusting the volume. VFO. VFO or MR. Frequency, VFO mode. Well, this is, yeah, Art Bell. Amazing shows. Amazing. Making a call. Receive a call. Huh. Well, isn't this interesting? You see, don't want to strain your eyes. Well, now, don't I feel like an idiot? I have a huge magnifying glass that I'm using to hold this phone up, so I can't really use it. So come on, man. What? Look, I don't know what the deal is. Channel number, WX1. RX frequency megahertz. So weather radio, scan weather channel. I just don't know what the hell I've got here, but it just says amateur radio user's guide. But isn't an amateur radio shortwave radio? Amateur shortwave radio? Yeah. Oh, I know what it is. Oh, I think I figured it out. Voice of the world. I think I figured out what is going on here. You can have a shortwave radio and you can use it without a license as long as it's under a certain power. Like these are This is really strange that Baofeng what was it again? AR-5RM. AR-5RM. -5RM. Now, what is that? An upgraded, high-power, 10 watts, tri-band, handheld ham radio. Fuck, that's what I thought it was. It's a ham radio, including AM airband and NOAA weather channels. Well, fancy me. And it was $64. Although Temu says it's $59, you can buy it directly from Baofeng for $64. eBay for $102. Oh, that's 6 of them and they're different. Okay, never mind. But yeah, AliExpress says $40. Oh, for one of them. Okay, so I got a good deal because I bought mine for about $60. And so okay, all right. So the AR is an upgraded version of the UV5RM, and it appears that most places sell them for. Come on, guys, stop with the UV. I want the AR. Oh shit! Maybe I paid a lot more. And I'm watching silver do nothing when it should be blowing up. It's pissing me off. But I get it. It's where it's supposed to be. It's not where I want it to be though. And I don't want to sound like a spoiled little asshole. Even if I am one, I don't want to sound like it. See how that works? Depends on atmospheric conditions. I can tell you've done your research on these. Yeah, right now, after I bought them. Well, no, I read somewhere about how kick-ass they were, and I was like, all right, I want those because I've got the UVs. The UV5Rs, the little ones, they're half the size. They're literally this big. But I got them with huge antennas, but the radios are this big. And I found out why. They're 5 watts. These are 10 watts. So that means I can reach out and touch somebody that's 5 watts farther away. Whatever that means. I have no idea what that even means. I don't know what I just said, but let's find out. Frequency range, 144 to 148 megahertz, 420 to 450 megahertz. Typically unlocked, exported, though stock is often limited to ham bands. Frequency range for the RX is 108 to 136 megahertz, AM airband, blah, 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 power output, 9 to 10 watts. Charging, display, extra features, performance. Build, larger than the traditional UV5R, which is what I've got, with better flexible antennas included, and which I had to buy extra. The big long ones are like $15 a piece. Programming supports chirp software, usually via the Baofeng 5RM profile. Legal note, as a ham radio, a license is required for transmission. Oh, I did not know that. Oops. Good thing I've never transmitted anything on one of these, that would be a violation. Most of you are not old enough to remember Fire Marshal Bill, but it was one of Jim Carrey's very earliest imitations. Let's see here. Like regular CB 10 miles. AMC Pacers are awesome for a lot of reasons. Not the least of which is they're sexy. Very sexy. And yeah, you see everywhere out of them. But if you're trying to go low key, just know that people can see you in them too. And when people see somebody driving an AMC Pacer, they tend to go a little nutty. So anyway, what was I saying about breaking the law? A license is required for transmission. It is not typically, it is not type approved for GMRS or MURS. And its minimum power output may exceed legal limits for certain channels. So if you don't have a license, you're illegal. And if you have a license, it's illegal. Gremlins are sexy. Just don't get water on them after midnight. Or does it feed them? I don't remember. Let's see here. Yeah, wow. Okay, so the Balefang's awesome, I guess, but yeah, I'll learn how to use it. I mean, I just, first things first. And the first thing was get my hands on one, get it into a Faraday cage. And when I say a Faraday cage, what I mean by Faraday cage is a metal trash can. Yep, a metal trash can. That's simple. Metal trash can, put down some cardboard at the bottom of it. Make sure that your stuff that's in there is not touching the sides. Put lots and lots of aluminum foil on the top. You might also want to toss your cell phone in there temporarily just to see if it rings. If your cell phone won't ring, then you can be pretty sure that you're going to be okay after a EMP or solar flare. Which, by the way, is the same thing with your microwave. Microwaves are not always necessarily going to work, though. That's why you have to be careful. Baofeng might have been the name of a movie. Although I thought that was whatever. I realized where you're going with that, with the Beowulf thing. So, yeah, I'm glad I'm working on survival guides now because after hearing Trump today, I don't even know. Honestly, I don't even know where to begin. Like I feel really stupid for having been so supportive of him. And, I remember very carefully saying I was cautiously optimistic last January. People were like, why cautiously? And I was like, well, because I think he might be able to do a good job, but at the same time, battery replacement. No. USB-C charger, whatever. Anyway, it's a rechargeable battery. And the reason that's important is because if you have a solar panel, just a small little solar panel that's used for recharging, such as these, then you have years and years of life ahead of you. Just make sure that all of it's in a Faraday cage first. Dry freezer can work as a Faraday cage also. Well, yeah, I mean, as long as it's sealed up. So make sure that wherever there's a rubber seal, that you get some jam some aluminum foil in there, because again, you do not want your backup supply stuff getting fried. It's all you have. Yes, an EMP will. The batteries that are in your drawer. I think I heard somewhere that they will not be. And that is an interesting one. Although, to be honest with you, if it's battery powered, what are you going to do with it? You know. Another key to survival kids is if you have lighting, under no circumstances are you to ever, ever, ever use it at night, unless you are certain that you have a completely blacked out room somewhere, hopefully in the center of your house, that is completely blacked out. And when I say completely, remember on a moonless night, after about 3 hours of pitch blackness, somebody's eyes are so well adjusted that the starlight is enough to see by. Those are going to be the most dangerous nights, because if there's even a crack in a floorboard somewhere, it's going to light up like downtown New York City. And that is going to draw anyone who wants to rob you. Remember, kids, whether you're a single woman with a child or a big, mean son of a bitch like me, security through obscurity. And the reason I say that is because for all of you who are like, oh, yeah, I got plenty of ammo. They try to take my house, I'm going to shoot them. Well, that's a great philosophy. Right up until you pull the trigger the first time and make enough noise that everybody within 5 miles knows that there's a shootout going on. And what do you have shootouts over? Food, water, women. That's what you have shootouts over. So, any bad guys around there are going to come looking to see who won and who lost. Maybe if they're lucky, you shot each other and you're both dead. And now there's just a bunch of hot girls hiding in the basement with a bunch of food. Bingo. They just won the lottery. I would board up my windows, but I would also make sure that I beat up the front window, bashed it out, maybe set something on fire in the front yard, then put it out, and then put it on the front porch to make your house look as disgusting and beat up and robbed as possible. That way, I would make sure that if somebody can look through the front window, through the boards, and peek through, the first thing that they see are open and empty cupboards, perhaps with a door torn off halfway, that kind of thing. Make it look uninviting. Now, last but not least, if they come in anyway, and if they discover that, oh shit, there's somebody in here, the sound of a 12 gauge is the best deterrent. Well, guess what? Will not protect EMP, generally on protect certain frequency range only. Okay, well, I wish we knew what the hell you said before that. Water, very important. AMC Pacers were awesome. Okay, what are you doing here? Will not protect EMP. What? What will not? That's not a whole sentence there, buddy. I'm going to need a whole sentence out of you. Would you board up the windows? Yes. Aluminum ductwork tape. Yes, absolutely. I would say that I was referring to a Faraday cage. No, you do not want double-aught buck. And the reason I say you don't want double-aught buck is because what you just said right there, come on now, farmer, you're thinking, if I shoot you from across the yard, I will probably clip you with one of those 9 pellets. Oh, I know a thing or two about a thing or two. My dad was a federal firearms dealer, and I was on the Marine Corps rifle team. So I know a lot about things like shotguns. Number 9. The reason I say number 9 is because if you're firing it at somebody inside your house, 2 things. Number 1, you want to be able to make sure that the spread is as wide as possible in the shortest distance possible. Short barrel, 9-inch bird shot, which spreads out. Now, is it going to kill them? No. But does it hurt to get shot with little BBs going several hundred miles an hour? Yeah, it hurts a lot. What about if it's in the belly? Yeah. Chest? Yeah, nipples are sensitive, man. What about your face? Because remember, you're going to fill the whole hallway. Now, what if you pull the trigger and then you realize, oh my God, I just shot my grandpa? Well, I can tell you this. There's a good chance if he's far into the hallway that he is going to be very angry with you for quite a while, but he'll probably live. You shoot him in the chest with double-aught buck, there is 0 chance he's going to live. And odds are you're probably going to miss anyway. And I can say this from the standpoint of having enough adrenaline in my body to kill 4 horses and at the same time try to control a weapon, which is why you'll see that some of the guys that are the best in the world stand like this, because here to here, when it's right up against you, just face the person and pull the trigger, as opposed to, oh yeah, man, I'm going to do this with one hand. I'm going to turn it. No. Turning it sideways and not looking down the barrel, that's how you shoot all around them. Now, my personal experience with this, I went over to my buddy's house right after he got robbed by a few gentlemen who had seen his mother. He was 25. He lived at home. Yes, it's a little late to be living at home. If you saw his parents' house, you'd understand. They lived in about a 20,000 square foot mansion in Bel Air. He's in the shower. He gets out of the shower. He puts a towel around him, and he hears guys screaming, "Hey, where's that bitch with the big diamond ring?" And he could hear the maid screaming, top of her lungs. And he goes, oh, it's go time. So he walks over to his cabinet, which is half of his bedroom wall, and he opens it up. And because he's a gun enthusiast and he's wealthy, he's got everything, including an HK-93 assault rifle. Hey, if you're going to go big, right? So now he slaps in 30 rounds. And he takes his safety off and steps into the hallway, at which point there is a guy with the maid by the hair coming up the stairs directly in front of him. The guy pushes the maid out of the way, which, big tactical mistake. If you have a human shield and you push your human shield out of the way, you now have no shield. So my buddy thought, all right, mano a mano. And this guy points his weapon at him sideways, like gangsters or wannabe gangsters tend to do. You probably saw it in a video. And he starts pulling the trigger. My buddy raises up this HK, which is a very capable weapon, and puts 15 rounds downrange. They both go their separate directions. The guys who are downstairs looking for the bitch with the big diamond ring all run out of the house because they think that basically the United States Marine Corps must have shown up based on how noisy this thing is. And nobody got hit in a hallway. Nobody got touched. They're maybe 50, 70 feet apart. They exchanged about 30 rounds. Nobody got a scratch on him. My buddy's towel fell off mid-exchange, That may have distracted the bad guys. I don't know. I never asked him to show me. So, but I will say this. He was very different after that. His attitude was very different. Tony, 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 what are you thinking? There's no reason for that. Look, number 9 shot. I'm telling you, number 9, bird shot. Little teeny BBs. But those little teeny BBs will cover the entire hallway. Floor to ceiling, side to side. Well, not floor to ceiling, but about half of it. So you fire down the average hallway, 20, 30 feet, and you're going to cover the whole thing. His attitude was very, very quiet. He got very quiet and very conservative, let's just say, after that. Why do you have 2 TikTok pages going at the same time? Because I can. This TikTok is primarily dedicated to survival. This one is primarily dedicated to silver and gold. See what I'm doing there? And then, by the way, right in the middle, where it should be, is YouTube, who does not censor me and doesn't kick me off every time I say something that they don't like. So, I want to hear the horse story. Was there a horse story that I'm not familiar with, guys? I don't understand. Maybe I am not paying attention. Horse story. Interesting. By the way, let's see what's going on with Dow Jones Industrial Average. Okay, what are we doing here? Silver is up a little. Gold is up a little. The dollar is down. Okay, up, down, up, right in there. Oil is at 95. You said you could kill 4 horses. Oh, with the amount of adrenaline. Is that what you meant? Yeah. With the amount of adrenaline. Yeah. Yeah, that's all I meant by that. Is that when you're in those situations, the adrenaline is literally your head. A lot of people don't realize this, but after the fact, man, you are not going to feel good. You are going to be hating life, really hating life, because your head's going to pound so hard. If you don't throw up, you're lucky. If you don't throw up from an adrenaline rush, then you're lucky, because an adrenaline rush like that will make your head, it'll give you a migraine. It always has with me. It's always given me a migraine. Makes your head pound. You feel exhausted. You can barely keep your eyes open. You definitely feel like you're going to puke. I don't think I've ever thrown up, but I sure felt like it. It's funny too, because you'll notice who knows what's going on. Once it happened, and some cops that were there came over to me as I was leaned up against a car, and I just leaned up against the car. I had my eyes closed, and cop walked up and he said, "How you doing, man?" And I said, "I'm good, good." He goes, "Adrenaline hangover, huh?" And I smiled and I said, "Yeah, pretty good one. How'd you know?" And he goes, "Happens to the best of us." He goes, "You want fruit juice?" I said, "Oh man, if I had a fruit juice, that'd be awesome." And he goes, "All right." He reaches into his uniform. He's got his tactical pants on. He pulls out one of those little foil ones the kids have, and he goes, "Here you go. I was like, you just had this on you? And he goes, yeah, we get adrenaline rushes all the time, man. Nothing helps more than a little sugar. And I was like, all right. And I got to tell you, that was the best fruit juice packet I've ever had in my life, because that was a heck of a rush. The dollar is sinking slowly. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to sink quickly when inflation really kicks in. Yeah. Double Out Buck is really good if you're, and slugs are really good if you're out in the forest. You want to go number 9, then something a little heavier, then probably skip the buckshot completely and go straight to slugs for a bear. For if you're talking about a grizzly bear, if you're because the old saying, if it's black, fight back. If it's brown, lay down, and if it's white, good night. You're not, unless you have a really powerful weapon like a 12 gauge with slugs. And that's why I'd go 9, because when you've got a bear charging you, and if it's charging you, and again, they do bluff charges all the time. So it's really, it's really up to you. If you want, you skip the 9 for bears and just go straight to a slug. But if they're coming in hot, you literally get one real shot, and that is it. If you've never seen what a bear looks like when it's charging, like in real life, if you've ever seen a bear running, it is horrifyingly fast. Like, they are extraordinarily fast animals. The fastest, when you watch somebody like Usain Bolt, and he's just flying down that 100 meters, and he is just in stride, and everything is working perfectly, and you see him moving, you're like, wow, that man is fast. If I'm not mistaken, that's about 30 miles an hour. He could not outrun a bear at that pace. Yeah. Let's see there. Were any charges made from the fight that put all in the hospital? Oh, those, no, my buddies, if you're talking about my buddy's house, no. That was they I don't even know if they ever caught him. I'm not sure that they ever caught him. So, if you're talking about what I was mentioning earlier, then yes, I'm pretty sure I got charged, but I had it coming. Honestly, I deserved it. That was one of those where I really felt like an asshole after that happened, because I did something that you got to be very careful, because there are bad guys out there, and they kind of, in a way, a lot of them have a dress code. They dress a certain way, they act a certain way, and that's their way of looking cool. They think that's cool. But it's kind of like greasers back in the 50s. Like the movie The Outsiders, where it's like, you had the preppies, the Sochis, and then you had the greasers. And some kids, they weren't greasers. They weren't in gangs. They didn't carry switchblades or any of that. But they went with the look. They wore a T-shirt with a pack of Lucky Strikes rolled up. And no, this is way before the Warriors. This is like back in the 50s and early 60s. And the Warriors were the late 70s. I know that was the first movie I ever went to see by myself. See, that's a weird thing about having the memory that I have, is I remember shit like exactly where I was. I was 13 years old. I just backpacked 200 miles through the Sierra Nevada mountains and lower Cascades. And we came out in Ashland, Oregon. We left from Dunsmuir, California. We went all the way up to Ashland. And then a couple days later, we ended up in Medford. And across the street from the little old hotel that we were staying at was a movie theater. Only had one movie. It was a little theater. That was before the big metroplexes. And it was The Warriors. And I was, nobody was doing it. I mean, we just gotten done backpacking 200 miles. Everybody was just kind of laying around recuperating except me because I was 13. And when you're 13, you don't recuperate because you never get tired. So I said, hey, I'm going to go across the street and watch this movie. And they said, okay, cool. So I did. That was the very first movie I ever went and saw by myself. Warriors. Anyway, my point was that not all of the greasers who dressed like greasers were actually greasers. They just thought it was cool. And girls liked it. All the preppy good girls would, always like the bad boys. And that's just kind of the way it's always been. The bad boys are the ones that are the most fun, apparently. So, yeah, and the same is true with, sort of the hip hop culture. There's a lot of youth out there who dress like gangbangers, but they're not. They're not really gangbangers. They're actually quite normal. They just want to look the look. Unfortunately, that night, I was fighting with a bunch of them. And when they got up to run away, I was pissed. Number one, I was bleeding from several spots because I'd been stabbed several times, and I was very angry about that. And I wasn't going to give up, and I certainly wasn't going to be one of those people that's like, oh my God, I get stabbed. I'm going to lay down and wait for the police. No. I was like, they're not getting away from me. I'm just getting started. So I chased them and came running around the corner, and there's a kid standing there, totally fit the profile. I mean, Raiders jacket, pants pulled way down low, And as I came running around the corner, he was standing in the middle of the sidewalk, and he was like, what? What's your problem? And I thought, man, you should have kept running. So I dropped him and then bit off a pretty good piece of his ear. And turns out he was not one of the gangbangers that I had been banging with in the alley. He was just some kid who wanted to look like one of them. And he was actually a student at the local college. So, yeah, it was pretty messed up. The next day I woke up and at home. That's the craziest part. I woke up at home and it was really strange. I didn't actually get arrested. They let me go home from the hospital after they stitched me all up. I made a joke. I got stabbed in the neck right here, and I made a joke about the surgeon said, I'm gonna have to open your neck up. And I thought I was John Wayne at the time. I thought it was pretty funny. I said, well, doc, I don't think you got to open my neck up. I mean, hell, I'm paying you to close it up. Clearly, I already had somebody open it up for me. He didn't think that was funny at all. He did not find any humor in that. He said, yeah, well, the problem is that it's so deep that it looks like it may have touched or even nicked your carotid artery. And if there's any damage to your carotid artery, you may feel fine, but sometime in the next 48 to 72 hours, you may be doing something and your carotid artery breaks. And I said, oh, what happens if my carotid artery breaks open? And he said, you die in about 90 seconds. And I went, oh, okay, well, yeah, then I guess I definitely go ahead and do what you need to do. And he said, do you have any emergency contacts? I was like, yeah, it's my dad, really. And he said, okay, well, we need to call him. And I thought, well, that's weird. That's 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't think my dad's going to want to hear this phone call. So I, of course, tried to make a joke. Um, I said, hey, Dad, what's happening? He goes, you know what time it is, son? It's pretty late. I said, yeah, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Hey, do you know where your son's bleeding? And he goes, oh, what's the matter? I said, oh, I got in a little dust up. And he goes, I see. And I said, so yeah, I'm in the hospital. And he goes, wait a minute, how bad is it? And I said, oh, it's nothing. And he goes, then why are you in the hospital? And I said, well, I'll let the doctor tell you. And the doctor said, look, I'm going to open him up so that I can check his carotid artery. But when I do that, I may relieve the pressure off of this part of his carotid artery, which could be damaged. If that's the case, there's a pretty solid chance that we may not be able to stop the bleeding in time. Okay, hold on for a second. I was like, wait a minute. This is not my idea of fun anymore. Like, at this point I'm pretty sober, and I'm realizing that, like, we're talking about me potentially dying in the next 10 minutes. And so he got off the phone with my dad, and I said, so it's pretty serious, huh? And he goes, yeah, it's real serious. And this is, I don't find any humor in this, and you shouldn't either. And I said, well, if it's any consolation, Doc, I'm starting to not see the humor in it either. And he goes, good. It's time for you to grow up. I think you put an F word in there too, but yeah, the next day I remember waking up, and it didn't. I mean, the thing that hurts about stab wounds is the muscles actually hurt. It feels like you got hit with a baseball bat, even though it's weird because it's sharp. So you would think, like, I got stabbed a bunch of times. I get stabbed there. I actually have a scar that runs right down the center of my nose from where a guy tried to stab me, and I lifted my head and it just cut my nose just right in half. Not deep, just enough for a couple stitches. And then a guy hit me in the face with a pipe, and then I got a bunch of stab wounds in the back, and it was, all in all, it was one of those nights that makes you question: do I really, really want to be John Wayne anymore? Or do I want to just give up this whole bullshit, ass kicking tough guy routine and just have a normal life? At which point, the next morning, actually, I was walking to the store. I was walking over to the little liquor store. I lived at the beach at the time in Santa Monica, and there's a little liquor store, I don't know, 200 meters from my house. I was walking over to it, and I remember the sun was shining, and it was a beautiful day. Little overcast, not too bad. It was just breaking up. And I remember looking out and thinking to myself, yep, I almost died. I almost died last night. And I'm not really sure that I want to do that ever again. I think it was probably the first time in my adult life that I ever felt any fear. I actually felt a little bit like, oh shit, I almost died. And of course I did what anybody does, any man does. I took all those emotions and I stuffed them way down and sat on them. But it's a funny thing. You can sit on that shit, but it doesn't go away. You still know that it's there. You still know that it happened, and you still know that you goddamn near died because you were being stupid. And did I start that fight? No, of course I didn't start that fight. Not even close. I said, excuse me, I'm sorry. And the guy got in my face. Why? Well, because he's a black kid gangbanger, and he had a few of his friends with him, and he was just feeling cocky, like, hey man, get out of my fucking way. angry youth. But of course, even though I didn't technically start the fight, I certainly didn't let it slide either. At that point, I said, "Hey, you know what? We should all go in this alley together. Just you guys and me." And they said, "You're out of your fucking mind." And I said, "You know what? You're absolutely right. I am. Let's go." The perp go to prison for attempt? No, no, they never caught any of them, which is really funny because one of the guys, the guy who stabbed me in the neck, um, he ended up laying next to me in the hospital. But I didn't recognize him. I held on to him the longest, so he was totally unrecognizable in the hospital. And when my buddies came in, because I looked over and I saw him laying there, and I thought he'd been in like a car accident or something. And I said, "Hey man, what's up?" And he looked at me and he just kind of nodded and he looked away. And I thought, yeah, I mean, shit, maybe he can't talk. Maybe his jaw's broken or who knows. Well, it was apparently that he was shocked that I was talking to him, that I was acting like, hey, no big deal, man, since I was bleeding from a whole lot of holes. And so one of my buddies came in because they got to the hospital after I did, and they were like, "Hey, man, did you see the guy?" And I said, "Did I see the guy? What?" They said, "The guy that you messed up." And I said, "No, he ran from me in the alley. I was chasing him." And they went, "Oh, he was laying right next to you a minute ago." And I was like, "What?" And I looked over and there was nobody there. And I was like, "Where'd he go?" And they said, "Well, he saw you and he got up and left. He literally got up and limped out of the emergency room. He left the hospital." And I was like, "Oh, well, that sucks for him." So apparently they never saw him again. They don't know who he was. They didn't get an ID from him. So, yeah, he never got charged with anything. I, on the other hand, had to pay $5,000 for that kid's ear because he did have to go to the hospital and get surgery on his ear, which I damn near bit off completely, even though he had nothing to do with what happened. Yeah, that's called time to grow the fuck up and stop acting like you're John Wayne, because this ain't Rio Bravo. And that kid, talk about wrong place at the wrong time. He just looked like a gangbanger. He was trying to look like one. He was trying to look all badass and dangerous. Well, he did. He pulled it off flawlessly. And when I came around the corner, I just thought, okay, this is one of the guys that I was in the alley with, because there were a lot of them. And unfortunately, the alley was dark, and I thought we were going to do that one at a time. We'll fight one guy at a time, and this will all be great. And nope. Although I did have one of the guys walk up to me, and he said, I'll never forget this. He goes, "Man, I don't know if you are just a real badass or if you're out of your fucking mind or what." But he goes, "I don't want to fight you." And I said, "All right, man, if you don't want to fight, then I don't want to fight you either. Next time I see you, I owe you a beer. Just remind me." And he goes, "Fair enough." He shook my hand, turned around, and walked away. And that's, of course, when I got stabbed because I wasn't paying attention. There's a lesson in there somewhere. Always keep your situational awareness up and running. So, but then again, also don't get in fights in alleys when you're drinking. There's another pretty much golden rule of thumb there, because as cool as it might sound to get in a brawl with a bunch of guys and theoretically come out on top, nope, I did not come out on top. And that was one of the last times, probably. Yeah, well, it was probably just about the last time I got in a big brawl like that, was that time, because I just thought, there's more important things to do with your life than show people how tough your chin is. No, I've not seen War Machine, but I heard it was good. Man, talk about a crazy transformation. The Rock really just, he hit that Ozempic hard. He went from huge to shrunken up, which is the same thing that the other guy who plays on Guardians of the Galaxy, I forget his name, but he did the same thing. He shrunk up big time, man. They're shriveling up, which also shows just how, how really, like, what's the word I'm looking for? That's a tough one because they talk about how this all this body positivity and how these fat people are great because they look so good even though they're fat. And as soon as they have an opportunity to lose weight, they jump on it. And it's like, whatever. Wasn't in the movie. Alan Rickman was the guy from Reacher. Yes. Wait. Wasn't in the movie. Wasn't in the movie. The new movie War Machine? Oh, War Machine. Oh, War Machine. Okay. I was thinking of something else. I was thinking about the guy of the Mark Coleman movie. So, yeah, Alan Rickman. Alan Rickman. I like him a lot, and he's he's different. He's cool. He actually admitted that yes, he's on test. He is on TRT, and he said anybody who's 40-something years old, that's his age, that's trying to be big and lift hard, should be on TRT. And I was like, all right, good for him. Because The Rock was like, oh no, I'm all natty. You're natural? Mm-hmm. Right. And I'm 5'2". It's bullshit. Oh yeah, the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy. He's the green guy. He's super cool. I love the guy. But he's Batista, right? Batista was just fucking crazy roided out, super roided out, and so he exactly Batista, yeah. So he's he went on Ozempic and he's lost like 100 pounds. He's super skinny, but he looks like these guys who go on Ozempic, they look skinny and frail now. Ugh. I don't want to go down like that. On the other hand, I don't want to have more chins than a Chinese phone book either. So, you know what that means? Cardio, 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 cardio. That's what that means. Cardio. There's no secret to this. Got a bouncer in Houston, Texas. What a shitty place to be a bouncer. I would not want to be a bouncer there. Oof. Mm-hmm. Yep, they sure do. All right, guys. Well, let's see. I've been on here for a couple hours. I'm gonna go watch a movie with my kid. He's out of school right now, so we're gonna have some fun, watch a movie, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Now, remember, order these quickly because these are important to have. These are going to be very, very important when the grid goes down. Get yourself a metal trash can, for real. Metal trash can, not painted. It's got to just be raw steel. And then I'll show you guys how to turn that into a Faraday cage, and we'll put some electronics in there. Trust me, it's never been more important. I'm not saying that Israel is going to have a false flag, but if anybody attacks the United States, it would be them. Iran will absolutely, under no circumstances, for any reason, ever, 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 attack the United States directly. And the reason for that is so incredibly straightforward and so simple that if you can't grasp this, you should apply for disability. If you attack the United States of America and you're Iran, you have guaranteed yourself retribution on a scale that you can't even fathom. Because at that point, 330 million humans out of 8 billion humans, 5% of the world's population, which takes up 55% of the world's resources every year because we're that fucking rich. We're that incredibly wealthy. We will literally spend every dime we possibly can to destroy Iran. Right now, we're already losing interest, and rightfully so. They're not trying to hurt us specifically. They're trying to hurt Israel because that's who's trying to hurt them. And we're just doing it because we were told to by our bosses in Tel Aviv. But we're going to get sick of it real soon. If they attack us, we'll never give up. We'll never give up. So the idea that they would attack us is completely idiotic. These are not stupid people. These people understand psychology just like you and I do. They're not stupid humans. So what are they going to do? Well, I can tell you this. They're going to continue to hammer Israel for months, whether we like it or not. They're just going to keep hammering Israel. And the reason they're going to keep hammering Israel is because they want the Israelis to understand that they cannot win. Under any circumstances, they can't win. So stop trying to start a war with them. This is Israel's doing. This whole thing about, oh, it's Iran's fault. Really? After what you did in Gaza, there's no excuses anymore, guys. We saw your true colors. We saw you killing children. There's no excuse. That ain't misinformation. We watched it with our own eyes. You did to the people of Gaza what you said Hitler did to you. You literally turned right around and created a genocide on your own doorstep with the entire world watching. And when we said stop, you said, fuck you. We're going to kill every single one of them unless they leave. Okay, don't blame us for wanting a divorce now, because we do. And that means that if Iran has a problem with us, they can bring it up with us. But I don't think they're gonna. I think Israel is going to be very isolated here. Because if I could guess, just guessing, if I could guess whether Iran would want to either A, go to war with the United States, or B, sell oil to the United States, I think they'd rather sell oil to us. I think they'd rather buy water treatment plants from us, desalination plants. I think they'd rather buy infrastructure from us and have our engineers go over there and help them rebuild their water system so that everybody's got access to fresh water, instead of fighting with us over some reason that we're not really sure of. They hate us because they hate us. They hate us because they ain't us. They hate us because we're free. Okay, what? Come on, guys. Give me a real reason, or let's just knock this shit off. But just understand, if we knock this shit off, that doesn't mean that Iran stops bombing Israel. They won't this time, because that's what they did last time. We stepped in and we bombed 4 buildings and we said, all right, your nuclear power, your nuclear is gone, annihilated, obliterated. And they said, okay. And they took the off ramp. They were like, all right, yeah, the United States attacked us. Oh, and by the way, we're going to attack them. They shot some missiles over, which clearly didn't hit us. But they came close. They hit next to the base, and all right, we hit you back. And we were like, all right, we hit you, you hit us. Israel, shut up, sit down, quit barking, little fucking chihuahua. Well, guess what? They wanted another round. Only this time, Iran's saying, no more off ramps. Yeah, this time Iran is really, really, really deeply pissed. Like, everybody had an off ramp last year. 12 days, they showed Israel that, look, guys, we're not using slings anymore. The same bows and arrows, baby. We got tech. And everybody was like, whoa, they do have tech. Look at those hypersonic missiles. I've never seen anything quite like that. And it was like, okay, well, let's all call it a day. Let's all call it a day. And the assumption was, and this is where the Iranians made a mistake. They assumed that, okay, we showed Israel what we could actually do if we wanted to. So the fact that we only did it for 12 days, they get it. They know that, look, don't call down the thunder again. Because the next time you call down the thunder, it's, dogs off the chain, baby. Israel doesn't get that. The Israelis don't get that. They are God's chosen people. They think they're better than everybody else and that they always win, no matter what. Even if their alligator-sized ass always overloads their little canary-size, or their alligator-sized mouth overloads their little canary-sized ass every time. And then we have to go in and save them. So we did it again. We went in and saved them. Only, look, man, this cost them way too much. Oh, I heard he lost a limb and he was in a coma. I heard Netanyahu was not alive. I heard all kinds of stuff. But the reality is this. They've been lying to us about Iran for 47 years. They've been a week away from getting a weapon. That's interesting. Well, who's gotten a weapon in the last 47 years? India, Pakistan, North Korea. Well, wait a minute. So everybody else got a weapon that wanted a weapon, but why couldn't the Iranians get a weapon? If Pakistan's got one, if India's got one, if North Korea's got one, if China's got them now, none of whom had them back then. So how come over the last 47 years, a bunch of people got them, but Iran never did? Well, let's see. Could it be because Iran said they don't want them? No, that's impossible. That's impossible. Well, maybe it's not impossible. Let's look at something interesting about these weird Iranians, shall we? Sunni Muslims have attacked the United States 100 times, give or take. The USS Cole, which Donald the idiot Trump said was actually Iran, was not Iran, it was Osama bin Laden. He took credit for it. Sunni Muslim. The embassy, both embassies in Africa, Osama bin Laden, Sunni Muslim from Saudi Arabia. Let's see. Okay, so basically every attack that Hamas has made, because Hamas is 100% Sunni Muslim. So wait a minute. Is there a difference between Sunni and Shia? Oh, yeah. There is, isn't there? So do Shia Muslims really follow Islam? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, 9/11, obviously, Sunni Muslims, if with the help of the Mossad, clearly. But the Iran hostages, yeah. So if you want to go all the way back to 1979, yes, 1979, 1980. So how long ago was that? Let's see. That would have been 46 years ago. 1979, so 47 years ago. So 47 years ago, the Shia took some hostages. Did they kill the hostages? They let them go. So here's the big question. Why wouldn't the Iranians do something like 9/11? Why don't they kill indiscriminately? Why won't they use a nuclear weapon? Because the Quran says you cannot use a nuclear weapon. Period. The Quran says that you are not allowed to use an indiscriminate weapon, because not only can you not kill any of the innocents, you can't kill any living trees, and you can't kill any non-combatants once they have surrendered to you. You must treat them like a guest in your home. What? So do Sunnis believe this? No. Sunnis came up with a big workaround called Wahhabism, where if I kill you and because you're a combatant, that's awesome. Well, if I kill your wife and your child, clearly they're your family and they were supporting you in this decision to fight me. So, yeah, they're combatants too. That's how the Sunnis worked around it. The Shia never worked around it, which means the Shia Muslims believe that you cannot possess a nuclear weapon. Now, they've said that about 500 fucking times. You think the Mossad helped with 9/11? Of course. Don't be stupid, Hong Kong. And by the way, if you're going to tell somebody who's joined the service to represent his country to move to another country, you should at least spell it correctly. Mindless foreigner. That's the kind of attitude that doesn't belong in this country right there. You clearly weren't born here. And that's why you think like that. Oh, you don't like my country? You get out of my country. First of all, it's my country. Yeah. My family goes back on one side all the way back to the colonies. So, as I was saying before, dipshit said, well, if you don't like it, you should leave it. If you don't like it, you should fix it. That's the Constitution. The Declaration of Independence, which you clearly have never read ever in your life, says that it is your right, it is your duty to fix the government. Think about that for just a second. So, Iranians have been saying that they don't want a nuke. They're not trying to get a nuke. And we keep saying, oh, no, you're going to get a nuke. And that's why we're going to blow you up. I don't think Sunnis believe that 9/11 is the example. You know, it's a funny thing because we've never really held the Saudi government responsible for the fact that 15 of the 19 hijackers were Saudis. Yeah, they're our closest ally. Iranians are peace loving. What exactly makes you think they're not? They're Hong Kong. What makes you think that they're such warmongers? Oh, Fox News. Oh, Mark Levin, the Prime Minister of Israel, on Fox every night talking about how he hates Christians and Americans. the guy who proudly pronounced Donald Trump to be the first Jewish president of the United States. Dude, how many people got killed in those protests? I don't know. You don't know the truth either. Do you realize how much you've been manipulated by the media? Think about that. How many people were actually killed? I don't know. Was it 30 or was it 30,000? Did that number just keep exploding overnight? Bigger and bigger and bigger until, for the first time, we had to go in and we had to stop. We had to stop that government from killing their own poor people. And because they're going to, as soon as we kill that bad motherfucker, they're going to rise up in our favor. And guess what? They didn't, did they? Ken. God, you make me sad, Ken. You could not have less common sense if you possibly tried. Like literally. I'm going to ask you a couple questions. You won't answer them honestly because if you do, you will expose yourself as being insanely ignorant. Number one, do Jews believe in Jesus? Does the Jewish faith believe in the divinity of Jesus Christ? Little, I'm bigger than your entire family put together there, Hong Wong. Literally, I could probably eat you and your brother for breakfast. They don't. As a matter of fact, don't the Jews believe that Jesus Christ was a false prophet? Yeah, a false prophet. And where does the Babylonian Talmud say he is right now? Right now. Burning in a lake of excrement. So if you're a Jew, you believe that Jesus Christ is a false prophet burning in a lake of excrement, that he practiced black magic, that his mother was a whore who had a baby, Jesus, with a Roman centurion while her wife was out of town, while her husband was out of town. And you're telling me that you don't think Mark Levin, one of the most hardcore Jewish Zionists on earth, hates Christians? Christians are all believers in a false prophet. We are all Goyim. We are all Gentiles, and we are all less than human, according to the Talmud itself. Now, you've either studied the Babylonian Talmud and you have Stockholm Syndrome and you think you deserve to be treated like this, or B, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about yet. And if you don't, I'll excuse you. Go study what's actually in the Talmud because it is disgusting. They believe that there are two types of souls on this planet. Dolphins and dogs and cats all have a soul, an animal soul. And that Jews have a divine spiritual soul. Gentiles do not share that soul. They share the soul of animals. It says this. They are taught this from the day they are born. This is what the Haredi Jews teach. If you don't know this, then you need to know this. If you know this and you're an apologist for them, God help you. Because you are literally defending people who don't consider you a human. Tell me what Germany in the 30s was worse than this. 70% of the people in Israel believe that what happened to the people in Gaza, including children, was okay. Because they're, and I quote, vermin. That's your Mark Levin. Okay? Those are your talking heads. Those are the people who stand proudly with Israel, even though they're pigs and dogs, and a proper Jew wouldn't eat with them. It actually says that. To eat with a Gentile is worse than to eat with a dog. That's a quote from the Talmud. Now, when they take that out, when they go, look, we didn't mean that, guys, that's old shit from 2,500 years ago. We don't believe that anymore. Then guess what? I will stand with my Jewish brethren. But they're not my brethren right now, are they? Because they are anti-Christ. Oh, fucking A, did I go there? I said it. But what I just said is true. If you are against Christ, you are anti-Christ. Rob, you're pathetic. Really? The United States and Israel together. Israel, who believes that you are a dog. Okay. All right. Well, guess what? Maybe you are a dog. I don't know. Maybe you deserve exactly what you're going to get, because look, here's what it comes down to. If I come home from work and the first thing that my wife does every day is kick me in the balls every single day when I get home, I say, hey, honey, I'm home. And she comes in and kicks me in the balls. At some point, I'm not going to hate her, but I'm going to leave. I don't hate Jews. They hate me. Christ says, love thy neighbor. Okay, guess what? I'm going to love the Jews from over there. That's it. If you're a Christian and you go to Israel, you'll be spit on by Jews because they know that you're not them. You're less than them. The Israel stuff is very simple. It's very simple. Ask any Jew that you know. Now, keep in mind, most Jews are about as Jewish as most Catholics you know. Yeah, they identify as Jew. That's it. Do they go through everything all the time? Do they study? Do they grow the hair on their temples like it says in Leviticus? Because if you cut the hair that grows on your temples, you must be put to death. It fucking says that in Leviticus. What? Yeah, it says that. Okay. Hong Kong, you are pathetic. I mean, beyond pathetic. I don't understand why, but you just can't get it. Like, you just don't get it. So, you know, if you're just a Jew by name, you're just Jewish. Yeah, I'm Jewish. Did you go through a bar mitzvah? Yeah. Or a bat mitzvah? Yeah. All right. You go to temple? Yeah. I mean, you know, on the big days. Okay. You study the Talmud? The other book? No, not really. Oh, okay. Guess what? Very good chance they don't know any of this stuff. Like, they know this. They know that Jesus is not their guy. Do they hate Jesus? No. I grew up in Hollywood and Beverly Hills. I can tell you there's a lot of Hollywood Jews that they're as religious as, you know, the average American. They go to temple once in a while. You know, you'll find them at the synagogue from time to time, but it's not the center of their life. The center of their life is trying to be able to afford the fucking incredibly expensive mochaccino they have every morning and still have a 200 square foot apartment for $2,500 a month. It's LA, baby. Welcome, you know. Having said that, there are a group, the Haredi Jews, the Chabad in New York, who are ultra Orthodox. And they believe that all Christians are beneath them. You are not a human being. By definition, you are not human. It says this in the Talmud, that you don't have the same kind of soul that they do. As a matter of fact, it's kind of funny because the way they talk about it, it's almost like God has burdened them with being better than us. And so it's sort of their responsibility to take care of us, look after us, use us as beasts of burden. But that's the way they look at it, is we are their beasts of burden. I don't know what you mean by separatists. As far as Jews, I mean, there have been different sects, but that's always normal in every religion. There are different cults. But, the thing is, when you get down to it, like the Haredi, they spend their entire lives researching and studying the Talmud. They know all of this. They know that the Talmud says very, very, very clearly, no ifs, ands, or buts, not misinformation, not me guessing, not me joking. This is not parody. It says that if you are to have sex with a girl under the age of 3, that she will be a virgin again because her hymen will grow back. And so it also says that to have sex with a child is, and I quote, nothing. Now, what does that mean? Nothing. It means it's nothing. It's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Okay, hold on. Wait, it says this in there. Holy teachings? Yes, the Talmud. It's very clear on this. Okay. Well, that's it. You're disqualified right there. Like, I don't want anything to do with you. I've had 4 daughters. I can't even say what I would do to somebody who harmed them on here because I'd lose my channel forever. But I would take great satisfaction in doing it, and it would take probably a week or more to finish. That's how I feel about that. The idea that it's nothing to them and that you can't lie, cheat, or steal when you're dealing with a Gentile because Gentiles are simply not human. Like, how am I supposed to feel about that? How am I supposed to feel about that? Well, now that's what we believe. We believe that when Christ came and said, look, no more sacrifice, no more of this shit where if you're rich, you get to sacrifice a cow and you get to go to a better part of heaven. And if you're poor and you can't afford to buy a sacrifice for the temple, then you don't get to go to heaven? What the fuck is that? He was pissed. And he said, no more. Within 1 generation, this temple will no longer stand. It's over. We don't make sacrifice to prove our love to God. And then he proved that he was the sacrifice. He even said, I'll be the sacrifice. I'll do it. But if this is the sacrifice, this is the last time. Like this, I am the sacrifice. And of course, the Jews were like, no, you're full of shit. You're full of crap. As a matter of fact, we're going to keep sacrificing stuff here at the temple. And then the Romans came and tore it down, utterly destroyed it. And by the way, how many generations later? Just like Jesus said, 1 more generation, and then it's over. So the Jews have not been able to sacrifice in the temple as they promised with their covenant with God for over 2,000 years. So in fact, there have been no real Jews for 2,000 years. Since the temple was torn down and the practice of sacrifice was forced to stop because of the diaspora, because they were spread to the four winds. That was it. Done. Why do you think they want to build the third temple? Why do you think they want to destroy the Dome of the Rock? Whether it pisses off Muslims or not, they could care less. Muslims are not humans either. Remember, they actually believe their own bullshit. They actually believe that they are God's chosen people above all of us. We're down here, they're up here. Muslims are down here, they're up here. Christians are down here, they're up here. Dogs are down here. Cats, horses, goats, sheep down here. They're up here. This is what they teach for 2,000 years now. I'm sorry, but I don't like that. And it's probably because I'm just one of those animals down here. But you can't blame me, can you? Can you blame me for being a little upset that I'm down here? Well, what's not true, Darlene? Everything I said, I've studied a lot very recently. We are all equal, not in the eyes of Judaism. That's stupid. You must not know Judaism. You haven't studied the Talmud at all, have you? You can be honest. I mean, it's a lot worse to say, yes, I've studied it and I believe we're all equal, because that makes you look like you're just full of shit. You were doing okay. Yes, we are all equal. Okay. Here's the key. Okay. You see, now that's the problem. You're looking at it from a Muslim standpoint. Now, do Muslims and Christians agree on everything? No. Do Muslims and Christians agree that Christ was a prophet of God? Yeah. Do Muslims think that he was a great prophet of God? Yeah. The final prophet? No. But a great prophet. So Muslims believe in their heart, and this is, I'm talking about a true Muslim, believes in their heart that we have the wisdom of Christ, and that Christ was a very, very wise man, and he spoke for God. However, we're missing a little piece. We're not all the way there yet. Like, we're getting close to the home plate, but we're just rounding third. Now, do Muslims hate us for that? No. Do they believe that we're not completely brought up to speed yet? Yes, they absolutely believe that. Do some Muslims believe that now that we've heard the great news about Allah and about Muhammad, that we better get to home plate quick, or else we're infidels and they've got to kill us? Yeah, unfortunately, that's the way some of them feel. Now, all of them, again, it's never the guy who's just walking down the street minding his own business. So you say to him, hey, man, what's your religion? He goes, I'm a Muslim. Just the answer alone tells you everything you need to know. He's a Muslim. That doesn't sound like I am better than you, and just by asking, I can tell that we're going to be enemies, But just walk up to any Jew that has curls hanging down from their big, huge hat, who is wearing nothing but black, who is a Haredi Jew, and say, hey, I just want you to know that I'm a Christian and I wanted to get your opinion about something. There's a very good chance they won't even answer you. They won't even speak to you. And have I seen that in interviews? Oh, many times. Many times. Some old man with his long old curls will turn and say, "You want to ask me a question? Are you Orthodox?" And the guy says no, and he goes, "No, I don't care." Turns around and walks away. Oh, rude much? No. Are you rude to goats? No. You can't be rude to a goat. Goats ain't got no feelings. That's how they feel about us. Now, how do I want to handle that? Let's ask ourselves that, because we don't want to sound anti Semitic. I mean, great, they're anti Christian, anti Christ. Literally, when you think about the definition, it's funny because when you say antichrist, people are like, did you just call Jews antichrist? Anti meaning against, Christ, the savior of Christians. If you're against Christians, then you're anti-Christ. Yeah, you're antichrist. Well, wait, are you allowed to say that? I don't know. I mean, that's what they're saying when they're saying that they are anti-Christian. So you're antichrist. Yeah, antichrist. Well, all right, let's call it what it is then. Let's get it on, baby. Let's do this. Let's be honest. I am not anti-Jew at all. Well, no, it's anti-Semitic. Fuck you. Don't try to confuse me. I study anthropology and archaeology. When you lump in Jordan and Lebanon and Syria, all the Semitic cultures. So you don't like Syrians? What about Kurdistan? Well, there is no fucking Kurdistan, first of all. And if there were, they'd be Semitic. So with your Semitic bullshit, you're not Semitic, Ashkenazi. Oh, but I'm not Polish. Benjamin Netanyahu is not Polish? Really? That's interesting. Well, that's really crazy. Mason, it's big and corn fed. Yeah, so, well, that's the thing is that I think Christ is King is funny because, if you just study what Christ said, like just look at the words. The miracles are neat and all, but, Thomas Jefferson cut all the miracles out of his Bible. It's called the Jeffersonian Bible. And his reasoning was, he said, I'm a man of logic. I'm a man of science. I'm a man of God. I don't need miracles. I don't need magic to convince me of the godliness of Jesus Christ. I know God when I see it, and I know God when I hear it, which is exactly how I feel. Everybody talking about, here are the miracles. It's like, look, you're going to drive people like me away with miracles, okay? The miracles mean nothing to me. Nothing. You want to know what impresses the hell out of me? Deeds. Like real deeds. To say to his followers, you shall do greater miracles than I. What? What do you mean wait, I'll do greater miracles than you? Like what? You're not going to leave me hanging right there, are you, Big J? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Figure it out for yourself. What? What are the greater miracles? I don't know. But he said, you'll do greater miracles than I. Okay, fucking challenge accepted there, Jesus. What are the greater miracles? I don't know. That's our job. He only gave us one commandment. There's one commandment. Did you people know that? There's only one commandment? He said, oh yeah, follow the other 10 commandments. But if you want a commandment from me, there's only one commandment. And this is the one that you must follow. Oh, you're good, Ellen. Love thy neighbor. Seriously, bro, of all the commandments to give, couldn't it be something like walk around the planet 3 times? That'd be a lot easier than loving my neighbor. Have you met my neighbors? Good fences make good neighbors. Well, not according to Jesus Christ. According to Jesus Christ, you have to love your neighbor the way you love the pupil of your own eye. Whoa, that is by far the hardest commandment to follow. By far. Don't steal. Really? Okay. Don't fuck your neighbor's wife. Okay. I can live with that. Don't murder people. Okay. By the way, the Jews don't think that applies to us because we're Gentiles. Murder only applies to other humans. So when the Jews read that, I'm not joking, the Jews read, thou shalt not murder, meaning thou shalt not murder another Jew. You can't murder animals. You can kill animals, but you can't murder them. Think about that for a second. That's why they killed so many children in Palestine. They're not children. They're just baby animals. Disgusting? Yeah. Correct? 100%. Absolutely correct. It is what it is, guys. So, I'm going to go. I'm going to go watch a movie. What time is it? It's almost 10. Damn, it might be too late for a movie. But Amalek was harmless. Amalek was a woman, and they just made bread in her honor and ate the bread at dinner. They did put her statue in the holiest of holies, which did offend one of their rulers, but Amalek was harmless. Moloch was the deity that they sacrificed their children to. And Moloch, I believe, is who the Israeli Haredi Jews worship to this day. Look, when they found the Jews living underground in New York City, and the guy said, yeah, I keep hearing voices underground. And they're like, oh, man, you're crazy. And then they found that the temple had dug underneath under other buildings. When they went in there and they found bloody mattresses, guys, come on, guys. Like, what is fucking going on here? Like, I'm not okay with this anymore. I don't know where the Baha'i faith fits into it, but you know what? I've been meaning to find that out. So, like, Kabbalah is their hidden mystery school version. It's very complicated on purpose. Part of me believes that it's incredibly complex and complicated in order to make intelligent people believe that there's something more than there really is, and that it's just stupid bullshit. No, but if you arrange the gemstones on the breastplate in a certain way, then you reach a spiritual higher. Do I believe there are other planes of existence? Yeah, I've done shrooms. Sometimes a lot. So I know that there are other planes of existence out there. I've been to the Hall of the Mountain King. I've been to the other side. I know that there's things out there that you can't see right now, that you can't stand on or piss on or chew on, but they're real. So do I believe that the Kabbalah and child sacrifice is the way to get there? No, I think somebody really fucked up on that one. I think somebody really took a left at Albuquerque when they shouldn't have. And so we'll see. But I've had just about enough of this Iran shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, look, Iran, guys, don't make a fool out of us. If you build a bomb, you're going to get it shoved up your ass hard. Like there won't be a single one of you left and we're done. So please don't do it. Okay, we're done. And then Israel, it's just not working out. You know, we had some good times. No, that's not true. We never actually ever had good times. You had good times. Israel had good times. We gave them trillions of dollars over the last 50 years, 60 years. They've had great times. Free university, free medical care, free everything. And the United States has kissed their ass and protected them from all the people that they go out and kill for no good reason. So no, it's been a horrible relationship. It's totally one-sided. And we are like that abused husband that finally says, you know what? Enough's enough. We're done. I want a divorce. And that's all I'm saying. I don't want to hurt Israel. I have no interest in hurting Israel whatsoever. But I do want a divorce now. It's time. You know? Especially when you got people that are as good looking as the Swedes out there waiting for us. Come on. Like if we're gonna hook up with a country, can we just fucking hook up with Finland or something? Just saying. Just an idea, thought. Just put it out there, you know. Just chew on it. You know, don't have to come back with an answer right away, but you know,